Robert declares his love for Aaron in early Emmerdale ITVX release, but hides a big secret. The following article contains spoilers from an episode of Emmerdale that hasn't aired on ITV1 yet, but can be viewed on ITVX. Robron fans have been left hopeful once more watching the latest episode of Emmerdale, as Robert Sugden, Ryan Hawley, and Aaron Dingle, Danny Miller, reconnected. A few weeks ago, Robert learnt from Paddy Kirk, Dominic Brunt, that John Sugden, Oliver Farnworth, was potentially about to put himself in danger. John had opened up to Paddy through a mental health helpline, but had no idea he was talking to a neighbor, because the call ended quite abruptly. Paddy was left pondering over whether to act on his hunch and tell someone about John. He eventually told Robert. Despite making it clear that he didn't think John would hurt Aaron, all Robert could think about was his beloved being in some sort of trouble. He desperately tried to get the address to the creepy cottage from Victoria, Isabel Hodgins, but she didn't believe a word Robert was saying. Paddy then told the same information to Vic, who realized with horror that her brother was telling the truth. By the time this happened though, Robert had already disappeared out of the village after getting the cottage address from Erica Chris Chittle. In the woods, Robert was knocked out by John, but came round just as he found his brother by a gorge with Aaron, because Robert interrupted them as John was preparing to call the police. It looked as though he had worked with Aaron to conspire against the killer. John changed tactics in this moment. He still called 999, but told them Robert was threatening to kill him and his husband. John then grabbed Aaron and threw them both off the cliff face. After Aaron woke up from his coma, he didn't hesitate in telling everyone about what John had done. Now John has gone on the run, Aaron has been left with bad memories and a lot of terrifying incidents to try and process. One of the main things that Aaron is struggling with is the fact John did such a good job at getting under his skin. Both Robert and Mackenzie Boyd, Lawrence Robb, tried to tell Aaron that John was bad news, but he didn't believe them. The self-loathing he feels now has left Aaron in a dark place. He believes that if he didn't allow John to manipulate him, his reign over the village would have stopped sooner. In today's episode, Robert found Aaron at the scrapyard attempting to burn some of John's belongings. Wanting to calm him down, Robert took Aaron home. There, he explained that the police had given him items from John's van and the cottage, because they had no reason to keep them. Robert comforted Aaron, but he pushed him away when Aaron leaned in for a kiss. Robert said that while being with Aaron is what he wants, OMG, processing what has happened to him needs to be a priority. Outside the pub a while later, Aaron respected Robert's comments. He agreed to letting Robert help him get through the next few weeks, and the both of them decided it would work better if they did it just as friends. As Robert headed off to return home, he received a text. It was from a man called Kay, who was telling Robert to stop ignoring him. Kay will turn out to be Kev, who arrives in the village next week. Kev is played by former EastEnders star Chris Corkill. After asking for directions to a location, it becomes apparent that he is looking for Robert. Robert quickly ushers him into the house, and it transpires that Kev is an acquaintance from prison that he'd rather people didn't know about. However, things escalate when Victoria walks in to find the two men holding hands and is bemused by this development, given what Robert went through to try and win Aaron back. The nature of the relationship between Robert and Kev is still unknown right now. Though producer Laura Shaw previously teased that his arrival would have repercussions for one villager. On joining the long-running serial drama, former Shameless star Chris said, "I am really happy to be joining the cast of Emmerdale.